What if I told you that even in the darkest of times, a new beginning is just around the corner? Imagine a world where hope seems lost, where the skies are perpetually dark and the future appears bleak. Yet even in such times, there's always a glimmer of light waiting to break through the clouds. Let's dive into the epic journey of Noah's Ark. A long time ago, in a world vastly different from ours, there existed a man named Noah. He lived in an era where the world was shrouded in darkness, not just literally but metaphorically as well. The world was a dark place filled with chaos and turmoil. People had lost their way, consumed by their own desires and selfishness, filled with selfishness and mean-spiritedness. The marketplace was a cacophony of greed, where people cared only for their own gain, ignoring the suffering of others. Saddened by this, God decided that a drastic change was necessary. The world needed a reset, a chance to start anew, to cleanse the world with a great flood. But amidst the darkness, there was a glimmer of hope. There was a beacon of hope. Noah, a man who stood out for his righteousness and unwavering faith, a righteous man who always strived to do what was right. Noah was different from those around him. He was kind, compassionate, and always sought to help others, to do what was right. So God instructed him to build an ark, a massive vessel that would carry him, his family, and two of every kind of animal to safety. To build a massive ark, a task that seemed impossible to many. But Noah had faith, big enough to save his family and two of every animal. Can you imagine the enormity of this task? The sheer scales of the ark, the logistics of gathering and caring for so many creatures, and two of every animal. Now, can you imagine? The animals came in pairs, from the majestic lions to the tiny ladybugs, each one a testament to the diversity of life on earth. People mocked Noah, but he trusted God and kept building. Despite the ridicule and disbelief of those around him, Noah remained steadfast in his mission. And then it happened. Pairs of animals, from lions to ladybugs, began to arrive, as if guided by an unseen hand. Miraculously arrived at the ark, boarding peacefully. The rain began to pour. 40 days and 40 nights of relentless rain, boarding peacefully. The rain began to pour. 40 days and 40 nights of relentless rain. The heavens opened up and the earth was submerged under a deluge of water, and 40 nights of relentless rain. The world as they knew it was washed away, but inside the ark there was hope. The world was submerged, but inside the ark, Noah, his family, and all the animals were safe. They were the seeds of a new beginning, protected from the chaos outside. The ark, Noah, his family, and all the animals were safe. They waited patiently, trusting in God's promise, and all the animals were safe. Inside the ark, life continued. The animals were cared for, and Noah's family remained hopeful. Eventually, the rain ceased. Noah sent out a raven and then a dove, hoping to find signs of dry land. Out a raven and then a dove. The dove returned with an olive branch, a sign that the waters were receding and that new life was beginning to emerge. The dove returned with an olive branch, a symbol of hope and renewal, a sign that the waters were receding and new life was on the horizon. The floodwaters began to withdraw, revealing the promise of a fresh start. And new life was on the horizon. The earth began to heal, and green shoots of new plants started to appear, symbolizing the rebirth of the world. The ark finally landed on a mountaintop, and as the doors opened, a fresh new world awaited. The air was crisp, the skies were clear, and the promise of a new beginning was tangible. And as the doors opened, a fresh new world awaited. God made a promise never to flood the earth again. New world awaited. God made a promise never to flood the earth again, a covenant with all living creatures, never to flood the earth again, and he sealed it with a rainbow, a symbol of hope and renewal, and he sealed it with a rainbow, a symbol of hope and renewal. The rainbow with its vibrant colors became a reminder of God's promise and the resilience of life, a symbol of hope and renewal. So whenever you see a rainbow, remember Noah's journey and know that after every storm, a new beginning awaits. So whenever you see a rainbow, remember Noah's journey and know that after every storm, a new beginning awaits. The story of Noah's Ark is not just a tale of survival, but a testament to faith, perseverance, and the enduring promise of renewal. Remember Noah's journey and know that after every storm, a new beginning awaits. It reminds us that no matter how dark the times may seem, there is always hope on the horizon. That after every storm, a new beginning awaits. Just as the sun rises after the darkest night, so too does hope emerge after the fiercest storm. Noah's Ark is a timeless story of resilience, faith, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow.